Hey there, if you are just joining, I am going to be chatting with Behman Zakeri shortly here, just getting him on the line. Uh, he is the new owner of the Goonies House. And let's just see if we can track him down. All right. So just stick with me here while I send the request out. Hey there, Rocket Man. I think you're on my last live. Welcome, everybody. I am going to be chatting with Behman Zakeri shortly here. He's the new owner of the Goonies House, and I am just getting him on the line. So hopefully we'll have him up shortly here. So yeah, Rocket Man, I am too. I am like so pumped to talk to this guy, and I am so glad that he is a huge Goonies fan. All right. Where is my people? All right, if you're joining just now, I'm going to be chatting with Behman Zakeri. He's the new owner of the Goonies House, and I am just trying to grab him. So if you'll bear with me, I'm going to see if I can get him on the line. Got a slight time zone difference. So welcome, Gen Experienced. Long time no see. All right. I am just waiting to see if I can get him on the line. All right. Maybe I should invite him to be a host. All right. Let me just send him a quick message. Make sure that he is on and available for the live. Head into messages here. Well, as long as we are waiting for Bayman, let's chat Goonies while we wait for him to join. I've got the request out to him, and he's probably just hopping on now. But I'm Tai Freligh. I'm a Gen X creator. I post quite a bit of content about Gen X and growing up during the 80s. Hey there, Samantha. Welcome. Oh, don't call me sir. You're going to make me feel Gen X old. Welcome, Catherine. Welcome, everybody who's joining me. We're just waiting to get Bayman on the line here. He is the new owner of the uh, Goonies House, and we're going to be chatting. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions, and at the end, we're going to have him answer your questions. So if you've got them and he doesn't answer them beforehand, pop them into the chat there. So just waiting on Bayman. In the meantime, I'm assuming everybody here has seen the Goonies. Welcome, Axiom. Oh, Samantha, what was the '80s like in London? Samantha, thank you so much. I love it. Camel Toe Rodeo. Okay, I think you win the most interesting name username so far. If you're all just joining, I am waiting to get Behman on the line to do a live chat and interview him. Okay, he is getting on now. He is the new owner of the Goonies House. And aha, there we go. All right. So looks like he's joined. And I'm going to invite him to go live. And
All right. I'm getting ready to go live.
there he is. Hey, Bayman.
What's happening? How you doing, Ty?
Good. Not much, man. Um,
Let's see if I can get
got
my
some
face
people
in.
on the
How about
line
there we
here.
go.
Can you
Support my
hear me?
KC stuff. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. All
Just
right.
getting some people on the line here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's Super Bowl weekend and my team's in. How about that?
Yeah, my team is long since out. Um, so are you Eagles or Kansas City?
Uh,
I'm assuming.
Look at my shirts.
Cannot see you actually.
You can't see me?
Nope, we can just hear you.
What? I've got hold
I've
on.
got to assume
Connect.
you're from Kansas City, right?
Yes, I'm from Kansas City. Yep.
So yeah.
I I pushed my camera. Hold on. Let me hit save. How
There
about
you are. Yay!
that? And
Welcome to
I'm
the
sitting there saying, how
live.
yeah, thanks. I'm like, how do you not know what team I'm rooting for? Look at my shirt. And you're like, I can't see you.
Awesome,
Look at that.
awesome.
I love your backdrop. That's so amazing.
Right? Right?
So
Are
one of
you
the
in the
hardest
house
things to
now?
work, maybe, um, we've learned that it's very important to not disclose our location.
Gotcha.
So it's
Gotcha.
very possible. Very
Okay.
possible. I'm looking at
Okay.
that picture, and I need to get that molding on on the post of the house where Brand's standing right there. You see up top, like
Yeah.
uh, I don't think that's there anymore. I think we have to have a carpenter like custom make that.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool. All right. Well, so
Absolutely.
welcome everybody. I'm Ty Freligh. I'm a Gen-X creator. I've got Behman Zakeri on the line here. He is the new owner of the Goonies House. We're going to do a chat. I'm going to ask him some questions, and then at the end, I'm going to have him pick some questions out of the chat. So let's jump in. Um, when did you first watch the Goonies? How old were you, and what was the impact on you at that point?
Summer of '85, right when it came out, we saw it. That was with my childhood neighbor friend Michael, who we called Mikey, of course. He bought the house next door, not Data's house, but on the other side.
He's the one with
And
the Karen sign.
the ignore Karen sign, that was him. Yeah, so we find out more information, sadly, about that lady. She's like, somebody texted me and said she's hit 3 Goonies in the past with her car. She drives up the driveway and honks at them, and she just doesn't like Goonies. Well,
Wow.
we also found out she rents the house. Why would you continue to live in that neighborhood and live
You
in that
know what's
house?
there.
You know it's there. It's been there for 38 years. It's not going away. And no matter how much hate you throw at it, it's only probably going to get even more popular because people are just going to want to keep coming out, especially with me having it now.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, if you're that unhappy, it's time for her to move. But she's playing a great villain right now. I'll tell you what, she gets a lot of a lot of publicity. I'll tell you that.
So it was 85 when it came out. You were probably what, like eight? 9
I
maybe.
was I was 8 years old, almost nine. I was actually almost nine, so because I'm an August baby, so yeah, I was eight. Michael would have been 11 or 12. I think he's 3 years older than me. So yeah, and then as soon as that movie happens, it just inspired me. It was just such a good movie. I thought I was a Goonie. I wanted to find the treasure. It just, I mean, you know how it is for all of us. Just the more you watch it, the more special it gets, the more stuff you see that you didn't see before. But it just inspired me. You know, it's like we had a bunch of friends that were all plus or minus the same age, and we didn't have money. So it's like we need to go out and find a treasure. And you know they're out there. They still are. You know that there's real
Oh
pirate
yeah.
treasure still. You know, they find it every year, every couple of years. They find a big shipwreck or something like that with bazillions of dollars worth of gold coins from the
Doubloons and
1800s,
whatnot.
doubloons, right, and all that stuff. So here we are as kids, like holy cow, our parents could like retire if we can just find this treasure. So we're just being kids and role playing the same thing they did in Goonies, and we're going to people's houses and looking for the lowest point, looking for that magical spot under the fireplace that's got a underground tunnel. And it of course never happened, but that was just something that was like so cool. Yeah,
That's so
for
funny.
sure.
Somebody commented, "Does the Karen look like Ma Fratelli?"
um I gotta be honest. Wow, if she put that beret on, wouldn't be too far off,
Oh
possibly.
gosh.
Could be a
Wow.
sister or cousin. Yeah, just needs the beret. Yeah, she goes to the city council meeting every 2 weeks and just complains. That's all she
Oh,
does.
of
And
course.
everything she says is, well, most of everything she says is complete lies. She doesn't even know me. She's never met me. Every time we were there, she's never around, which is sad. We're such nice people. We would be nice to her, but she chooses hate over love, and we're there to love. We're there for the love of the movie, to share what that is with the world, and she's trying to actually do the opposite. Like she tore down. Mikey put a sign up. She tore it down. She bent it, tore it down, pulled the post out. I mean, she's just doing stuff. We're trying to be as accommodating as we can. So the ideal scenario would be to have like Goonies, like take shifts at the base of the bottom of the driveway and just keep an eye on everything. So we could have a Goonie there on the hour, 24/7. It would be insane just to have people kind of contribute and help out. But I mean, you just never know. She's definitely her own
Yeah.
person. She's definitely her own
Oh
person.
yeah.
But what can you do? We're just going to focus on the good.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on all the people's lives that got excited because a Goonie got it, and a Goonies, wanting to share it, and people don't feel so timid now walking up the driveway, and they know that it's okay because I'm being very vocal about it. The only thing that I'll say is, the neighbors just asked me, "Hey, will you just tell people park a couple blocks away and walk?" And so that's what I've been trying to convince people, because the gravel road is challenging and it is dangerous. There is a
Yeah.
side that's a cliff, so if you back off the wrong way, you could actually your car will fall off the cliff and you get injured
Whew.
or possibly kick the bucket. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so
Gosh.
that's like super crazy to do. So like parking just even down by the pier. I mean, it's a beautiful town. Just walk a few blocks up the hill, and check it out. You'll walk past the coffee shop that Rosalita was at, right? To get there. That's 37th Street. So you'll cross Leif Erikson, and then you'll see the coffee shop right there on the corner. It's still there. It's crazy that it's like looks almost the same, just painted a little bit of a different color. And then you walk up 37th, make a left, and then you'll be at you'll see the Goonies house just up there to the left. That would make the neighbors so much happier. They just get so mad because people come up the drive and
Yeah.
they'll park in the no parking. And look, I get it, and nobody can be police. We can't stop human behavior, but I'm just trying to just that way I'm not getting yelled at as much.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So if you're just joining us, I'm chatting with Behman. He's the new owner of the Goonies House. I'm Tai Freligh. I'm a Gen-X creator, and we're just having a chat about the Goonies House and Goonies and whatnot. And if you are going to go visit the Goonies House, if you're able to actually go to Astoria, Oregon, they're just asking that you park down by the pier, park away, don't go up the driveway. It's dangerous. It doesn't make the neighbors happy. And so
Yep.
that's just go down by the pier. I've never been there. I would love to go there someday, but if you go there, park by the pier.
I see
um,
a question. Do you see that question from Gen Experienced?
yeah,
The short
you can
answer is,
answer it.
if that's cool. The short answer is yes. We do plan on restoring the whole house to look like the movie, including the Rube Goldberg contraption on the front that opens the gate when Chunk does the truffle shuffle. So that's actually being worked on right now, and the engineers that are working on it are huge Goonies, and they're starting from scratch, and they're sending me snippets. So what I've seen so far is we're not using a real chicken, of course, but we have a fake chicken who that is doing a great job, and they've got not only the chicken to make the same noise, but to turn its head like a real chicken and to drop an egg. This is all electronic, and then we've got the leg that kicks the football into the target. We've
Yeah,
got that to work too. So we've got those two pieces pretty much down, and so we've just got to get the pump that pumps the balloon, set the bowling ball up that falls into the pan, and they're talking about making it to where it automatically resets, so we don't have to reset it manually. So when the bowling
yeah,
ball falls to the bottom, it gets on a track, rolls, goes over, comes back up for the next person if they wanted to do it. So yeah, it's really neat to see the progress. And there's a Facebook page if you're not part of it called Goonies 35th Anniversary. You should join it if you're a big Goonie. Deepak Suther is a good friend of mine in Texas, and he started a shared spreadsheet for anybody that has replica items or stuff that they want to donate to the house. Because we are trying to find a lot of stuff, and not all of it's easy to find. So
mm,
stuff for the attic, stuff for the living room, stuff in the kitchen, and we've already got a lot of people that have pledged it. And what we've decided, since these people are donating everything, is going up the stairs. Now the staircase is different right now than it was in the movies. They knocked it out and closed it off. We can of course recreate it if we wanted to, but there's a big wall going up the stairs, and we were thinking, let's just memorialize everybody that helps out and have
oh,
like
cool.
plaques and nameplates and things like that. So you could say my name is inside the Goonies house because I gave the David statue, or I gave the pillow on the couch, or the Mad magazine or something. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that
Yep,
idea.
not
Awesome.
bad, right?
Not bad at all. I think I saw pictures of the contraption on Twitter. I think you put them up on your Twitter account, maybe.
Yeah, that was like version one. So Damon Crow, he works over at DreamWorks, and he's big into this. He's the one that restored the Fratelli's Jeep. Like he got a Jeep and even got the bullet holes in the back and everything. And it's the same one that sits outside the Oregon Film Museum if you go visit. Damon did that, and he
Oh
had
wow.
that the sprinkler, the green sprinkler on the little tractor wheels. He had Mikey's bike, which is awesome because it's autographed by Sean Astin.
Oh
We
wow.
found the bowling ball in the pan and all that stuff. And what's interesting about that whole contraption, there's the last time I watched a movie, I noticed it was so funny that when Mikey pulls the string, if you look, the bucket's like kind of brownish in color, and it actually has a price sticker like from the hardware store. So it's almost like, if you got to watch it again to see it. I've never noticed it until somebody pointed it out. They're like, "Are you going to put the sticker back on?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, in the movie it had a sticker." I was like, "No way." I mean, I always thought it was just a bucket. And you look, it must have been like Spielberg's like, "Hey, go to the hardware store and go buy us a bucket."
Grab
And
a
then they bought a
bucket,
bucket.
and they
They forgot to
forgot
peel
to
the
take the
sticker off.
sticker off. Oh, that's
That's so funny.
crazy. I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, if you're just joining, I'm chatting with Behman here. He is the new owner of the Goonies House. We're just asking some questions about the movie, about the house. Feel free to share the link with your friends so they can get in on the action while it's still happening. And if you like my content, give me a follow. Give Behman a follow. He's sharing videos, doing the truffle shuffle, and all kind of crazy stuff from the house. And we're answering questions in the chat and my questions too. And so my next question for you is, how many times have you watched it since 1985?
I've lost count, and the real answer is it has to be over 100. I started doing the math. I'm like, all right, 37, 38 years. If I watch it 100 times, that's 3 times a year. For sure, I've done that. For sure, I've done that. So has it been 150, 175, 200? Probably 150 to 200 times would be a guess, but easily over 100 times.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, I love that idea. Somebody just put in about having a book for people to sign when they visit the house.
That's a
That is
great
such a
idea,
cool
actually.
idea.
They did that at the 30th anniversary when we went there to visit the bowling alley, LC's Bowling, where Chunk, smeared the pizza and the milkshake. By
Yeah.
the way, it looks the exact same. They haven't even painted it. Like the outside of the building has never been painted since the movie. But when you walked into the bowling alley, you went around, they had a book to sign. They also had a map of the United States, and you would put a little, you take a little stick pin and you just pin where you're from. And it might have been a worldwide map, but it was at least the U.S. And then they had this Hawaiian shirt that was a replica of what he wore. And then, obviously, if you look at the pictures, the milkshake and the pizza plastered against the
Yep.
window, and you could just kind of recreate it. But yeah, that'd be a great idea. It's going to be interesting to see logistically how we would let people in the house because we're trying to work, with the Oregon Film Museum. They're the ones that the Chamber of Commerce that have organized all these great events. So we're probably just going to defer to them and let them organize and just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. Help them raise money and do whatever they need, to do. The key is just to provide the best possible experience for Goonies when they come to Astoria for Goonies Day and for celebrations. The house being the Holy Grail. It's when I went there
Right.
and we didn't know that. The only thing I wanted to do was go to the house.
Yeah.
The
And
jail
what day is
was
Goonies Day?
June 7th.
June 7th. Okay.
Yeah, that's the day that it was released in the movies in '85, so they call it Goonies Day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit here because you brought up the Oregon film folks. What technically can you do? I mean, like zoning wise, or what? I read that you can't turn it into a museum. You can't do like a B and B. So what can you do within the rules and regulations of Astoria?
Pretty pretty much whatever anybody could do with a residential house.
Okay.
Invite friends over, invite family over, throw a small gathering, things like that. I mean, it's a house. There's nothing we can do at the house to make money. There's no way to turn it into a business, a museum, an Airbnb right now. We can rent it for 31 days or more. So we've already had people request for that. It's just we're not set up yet. We don't have all the furniture. We don't have all the stuff, and we're not ready to rent it this second anyway. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot. I've got something like between uh, like TV show series and documentaries, probably have like 7 to 10 companies that want to do something. I've already been filmed for a documentary for Goonies. It was actually from, I don't want to spoil kind of what it is, but the Goonies house plays a part of the whole documentary, but it was like the missing piece they needed.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm going to be pushing for a sequel. I'm going to be pushing if they don't make a sequel to help to create something like Cobra Kai, where for Karate Kid, where they had the series,
They
because I
come
think it'd
back
be
as
amazing.
adults.
Could you imagine like all the cast being adults and then having another group of kids? They could totally do it. They could just have to, have people audition and stuff like that. I think it'd be amazing. Honestly, do. But again, it's not my call. I just want to. We've got the house, and I know that they're smart enough to know that if they're going to do anything associated with Goonies, the house being so iconic, they need to reuse it. It's
Right.
got to get used again. That's what the fans. It's what I would have wanted, whether I own the house or not. I want to see the house again.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're just joining, I'm chatting with Behman Zakeri here. He is the new owner of the Goonies House. We're just chatting, taking questions from the chat and whatnot. Feel free to share the live with other folks so they can catch it while it's still actually live and have a chance to get their questions answered. You can give me a follow for Gen X content. You can give him a follow for cool, fun videos from the Goonies house itself and what he's doing with it. And so let's get to how did you end up buying the house? I had put a TikTok up when it went up for sale. I think Elijah Wood had shared it on Twitter. And I put it up, and
Wow.
everybody was freaking out, like, "Oh my God, the Goonies house is for sale!" And then boom, you got it.
Yeah. Well, it was an act of God. That's the truth of it. It was meant to be. I mean, we went to visit in 2013 for the first time. We didn't meet Sandy at the time, Sandy Preston that sold it to me. She was a previous owner. And then we went back for the 30th anniversary in 2015. And the Oregon Film Museum, the Chamber, they had created these like buses where you could bus over there and you'd get a ticket and you'd be able to go in and Sandy was gracious enough to allow us to come in and our friends and the whole, whatever. I think it was part of the package, if I remember correctly. But bottom line is she let us in the house. We got the tour. She was super nice. We took lots of pics. And then as I was leaving, I was like, hey, if you ever want to sell this, the day you're ready to pass the torch, I want to buy this house from you. And she's like, yeah, you and like a million other Goonies. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. You know, I'm serious. It's like the whole trunk line, right? Like, no, you have to believe me, Sheriff. I'm being for real. So I'm like trying to explain to her, like, you know, how much this means to me, how much it's impacted my life in so many different facets, how many different people that are connected to it that I know, and I know how much good I can do by being that person. And we became friends. It's not like we talked every day or whatever, but we kept in touch. And then all of a sudden, in last November, a couple months ago, it goes up for sale. Sandy didn't let me know. She hired, an agent. They listed it. And so I immediately sent her a message and I was like, hey, do you remember me? I was like, I'm going to make a run. I'm going to buy, God willing, I'm going to buy your house. And she's like, no way. And she's like, good luck. I wanted to keep it strictly professional. I didn't want to like do anything that would have affected the deal in any way. I just wanted to play the game fair like everybody else. And so, the way I kind of structured it, I feel like my offer and, it was, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's kind of more of a humble approach, meaning like I had told them, like if any of the cast or anybody that's a big wig in Hollywood, like Steven Spielberg or Chris Columbus or one of these people really wanted it and they were going to make a run at it, just let me know so I can respectfully bow out because
Mm.
I don't need to go up against Sean Astin for the Goonies house. If Sean wants it, he
No.
can have it. If Corey wants it, he can have it. But I didn't have any competition up until the last day. And then an offer came in that was significantly higher than mine. And long story short, she picked me over that other offer. So I feel very blessed. She took less money than she was offered. I think she saw that I just happened to be that person. And yeah, so now for us, it's how do we preserve it? How do we protect it? The more Goonies that are willing to kind of contribute, we've already had people reach out. We've got a good friend now that's a big Goonie on the East Coast. He owns a law firm. He's pledged to represent us if we ever needed it for no charge, pro bono. He's offered free consulting. We've got people in every aspect, contractors, painters. It doesn't matter what it is, just people, the engineers that are building the contraption in the front yard. We have all these people that are just like, what can I do to help? Because they just want to say I was a part of this project to reconstruct, the house back to its original glory. And that's what makes it so special. We did the hard part. We got the house. It's done. It's not for sale. Even if somebody offered a whole bunch more money, it's not for sale. This isn't about us. This is about the world. This house means so much. If like this house, wasn't there, probably a million people would cry and get depressed. So we can't. So now it's about doing the right thing with it. We're talking with everybody, chamber, city, the museums. We're getting to know people in Astoria, would like to get to know the mayor and the council and everybody. And then they start seeing, oh my gosh, this is somebody that's here to do good. We've already, gone to Astoria multiple times and we're like, we need to actually help out some of their problems, say with the homeless and parking
Mm.
and stuff like that. So our big thing is to start organizing and get regular lives like this. If you're interested, is starting to get people to help out. They have a homeless problem there, but it's not as big as like Los Angeles, so to speak, right? Because Astoria only has a population of like 10,000 people. So it's not like there's, a ton of homeless people compared to like per capita. But even if there's 100 or 200, that's too many in my mind.
Yeah.
And I know that the community is big enough that we could maybe work with the local shelters, hotels when they're not fully booked to get massive discounts. We could get people to donate, maybe start a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe money just goes straight to the hotels. I don't even want to touch it. I just want to organize it. I just want to
Yeah.
help because my vision, my dream is that city to be so special. Like there shouldn't be a single homeless person. Should not be a single homeless person. And there shouldn't be a parking problem to go to the Goonies house. So let's all educate and figure out how we can all work together to teach everybody, hey, park over by the pier or park over in the adjacent lot if that's a possibility, or park whatever 5 streets down and walk. There's so many things that could happen that could make people so much happier. And Astoria is such a magical town. It's like if we could get this done, I'm just telling you, it would make it so much better.
I like B&B Forever's idea.
Which one?
Buy the Karen house and make it into a parking lot.
uh, I'll be honest with you, that's not the first person that said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and Karen's a renter, so she doesn't even own the house, which makes it worse. It's not like she's the owner that's upset, and she's only been there. Somebody told me like 5 or 6 years, something like that. It's like when you moved in
Mm,
there, you knew what you're getting into. So if you don't
yeah.
like it, don't renew your lease and move out. It's that's my two
Yeah.
cents. So
So
yeah,
is there information that you can send me maybe via email or something like that, some links to some of these things that I can get out, maybe do a video, like a follow-up video with some links, point people in the direction of doing some good for Astoria.
yeah, I don't have specific links. What I do know is like if you can watch Astoria City Council meetings, they do Zoom calls and they record them. So you can watch archived ones just by Googling it, finding their site, and just click around and you'll get there. But you'll see, residents and business owners that complain about it and stuff like that. Really, it's about like if these lives get big enough. Like I've seen lives where they have 1,000 people, right, and 5,000. You've seen a 10,000 people on a live.
Oh
Get
yeah.
enough people, and especially if it's organized correctly, like if we organize it during Goonies Week in June, or we organize it quarterly or monthly. We thought about one of the things. I spoke for the first time at the last council meeting, um, and I said one of the things I'd like to do, because I was a Boy Scout when I was a kid, was do Goonie Service Day, where Goonies all band together, show up to Astoria, and we pick up trash on the beach, recycle. Again, if there's homeless people, we help them out. We buy them meals. We talk to them, make them feel loved, because oftentimes that's what they need is just companionship and people just talking to them and being nice to them and stuff. So I, I mean, most Goonies, 99 out of 100 of them are just good people. And if we can just get those people to just spread that love in the city of Astoria, it's not like we have a million or 10 million people in LA. There's only 10,000 total people, and most of
Right.
the people are fine. But if we can focus on the ones that aren't and lift their spirits, I think we can make that world a better place.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
just joining, I'm Ty Freligh. I've got Behman here. He's the new owner of the Goonies House. We're just chatting about the Goonies and the house and Astoria. Taking some questions from the viewers in the chat. Feel free to share the live while we're still live. We're having a good time here, just chatting about all sorts of stuff.
I
So
love, look at Rocket Man's comment. Dude, I freaking love you for saying that. That is so cool. I bought a new Superman shirt. I literally have it upstairs because when we were doing sloth TikToks, we didn't have our Superman shirt with us, so we had used like a gray sweater. That is so funny. Oh, and the pirate hat. I have a box over here of like 10 kid-sized pirate hats. If you look at my most recent TikTok, I wore one of them. It's like a kid-sized one, which makes it even more funny. So so good.
yeah, there was an
Favorite.
earlier comment. Someone wanted to have you put a giant pirate flag up so people could find the house when they're
Well,
there.
we have a Goonies flag. We do have one, and we'll put it out. But sometimes it rains for like 5 days in a row, like nonstop. And rather than
That's
have it
Oregon
just
for
get
you.
weather, yeah, we'll pull it in for like a week and be like whatever, and then put it back out. So when the sun's shining, we're going to try to have it out more. But someone said, "What's your favorite part of the house?" So far for me is probably the living room. Something about the movie in the living room, where the kids just play the statue scene, Ty and Brand. stuff. I mean, that living room, there's nothing. I mean, obviously the attic special, but no, it's the living room. That's where the magic happened. And when you stand there, it like takes you back in time. It's so surreal. It's so weird just standing there. It's so amazing.
That's cool. Um,
Yes.
so the previous owners, and I'm not sure if it's the one that you bought it from or the one before, but I mean, there's kind of been a, you see all the pictures of the signs, stay out, get off my lawn, not
Yep.
welcome, go away. Um, but you're not like that at all. How do you sort of turn the tide against kind of like what the perception of going to the Goonies house has been and what it's going to be like now?
I would just say, first of all, Sandy was amazing. She lived there 21 years, 365. You got to cut people slack, give people credit for what the good that they did. If you're going to like criticize the bad, she probably was nice 350 days out of 365, and then maybe had a bad day, or even worse, maybe it wasn't even her. Could have been like the dead fish guy, right? You have these kind of weirdos that with
Seriously.
criminal, yeah, and do weird stuff. And she didn't have cameras like we do now. Like we have like high definition cameras with zoom capability and stuff like that. Like we're going to see everything. We're going to hear everything. There's sound. So it's like, you know, the difference between us is we're not full time, but we have people either next door, like the houses, we have people watching it 24/7 physically there. And then there's like six people that watch the house like nonstop on their phones, on computers. They're seeing the activity. They know what Goonies are that are coming up the driveway to take their pictures and to play around and not do anything crazy. We see everything. So having the house just set there and people know that they don't have to worry about getting arrested for trespassing. They don't have to worry about somebody coming out and screaming at them if they're as long as they're being respectful. That's the
Yeah,
thing. When
that's the
we'll see
key.
people, yeah, people will barrel up the driveway. It's a gravel driveway and it's dangerous. And then they'll just sit up there for a while and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't want to be rude to them. I know they're excited, but it's like, come on. The paved streets, you could have parked like 2 blocks away. The weather's only 50 degrees. It's not freezing cold. Just walk 2 blocks,
Yeah.
and nobody gets upset. Then we have to replace that gravel, as it deteriorates. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's a big part of it is just being respectful. And I can see how it would be a bit much. Pretty much 24/7, you got people peeping on your house when you're living there.
yeah,
So,
it, it's true, nonstop, and I love it. So for me, I still haven't gotten sick of it. I guess it's just part of being a fan. Every time it shows up, when I'm there and I'm outside and I'm in the mood, I'm like, come on, come up on the porch, come hang out. Where are you from? I'll just, it's like, don't be scared. You're not going to get in trouble. Um, yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome.
that's that's cool. Um, so where can fans find you on social media? I know I found you on TikTok, but then when I was doing my research, I'm like, oh wait, I think he's on Instagram and Twitter and all over the place.
Yep. All my handles are my first and last name. So Behman Zakeri, which is spelled Behman Zakeri, just like my TikTok handle. I'm on. I mean, Facebook's more friends and family. Instagram, of course, TikTok, Twitter. I've never been very active on Twitter. I've had an account for a while, but it's something about Twitter and the way it like functions and works doesn't work like with my brain. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but like I'll log into Twitter and I'll see the notifications and I'll click it, and when I click it, I'll see a post and I'm like, well, what's that in response to? Like somebody will say, something. And then like, okay, I guess I should click it. Then I click it and I see a whole bunch of other stuff I don't understand. So it's like, I know how to do a tweet. I know how to respond, like, heart, retweet, share, retweet with a comment. But I just don't get why people spend so much time on Twitter unless it's just a troll. And like, hey, hey, Davi, are you going to come back and
Yeah.
be a Fratelli for, or something like that? So is
Yeah. Well, and Twitter is just, it's been a hellhole lately. I'll just leave it at
yep,
that.
yep.
Not a lot of
It's
fun for a
definitely
lot of people. Well, if you're just joining, I'm Tai Freligh. I'm a Gen X creator. I put up a bunch of content about growing up in the 70s and 80s. You can give me a follow. You can give Behman a follow. He's the new owner of the Goonies House. So we're just chatting about that in the movie. And why don't we take some more questions from you folks, the viewers? Drop them into the chat there, and we'll get your questions answered if they haven't already been answered.
I'm scrolling through some of the other ones. You're welcome to everybody that's thanking me. This was for the Goonies. This is for everybody. This is for everybody to enjoy that house, that priceless house. There will never be another house in any of our lifetime that's that magical. Never will be. Had to be preserved. Yes, yes, Kay Thompson. When you say the authenticity, we're gonna go back to even painting the trim on the house. It's orange right now. It's gonna go back to that dark red like the movie. And we're going to do our best to make it look like it did in the movie as much as we can with the help of the community. I'm not a construction guy. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a this, I'm not a that, but there's a lot of people that want to help out, um, the attic stuff we have gotten so far, the book that, if you remember, it's like halfway open and it's like they had just gone to war. I forget the name of the book. It's got like guys that are surrendering, crouched over with guys standing over them, whatever. We have that book. We've got the that big painting, the Licorice Kiss painting, where Mouse stuck his tongue through it. We have a replica of that, thanks to Brad Tyndall. Brad's one of the admins of that Goonies 35th Facebook group. We've got a lot of stuff pledged that's going to be shipped soon. So lots of stuff's on its way. We've got, thanks to Chris, we've got the skull that goes on Mikey's bedpost right before he went and jumped on Brand when he was bench pressing. We've got that. There's just a lot of odds and ends, and it's just going to get better. I think the journey is of seeing this stuff slowly trickle in is much more special than like if it all showed up at once. Every time it's like Christmas or Hanukkah.
That's cool. That's cool. Is there any messages that you want to get out, or any questions that you wish people would ask you outside of all the normal questions that you've been getting?
I mean, I just want to keep as much as I'm opening, our family's opening the house for people to visit. Just be respectful to the neighbors. Park a few blocks away. Walk. It's infinitely less stressful for us to have to hear from others like, oh, because the biggest thing we're hearing is, oh, he's invited the world to come visit. Yeah, kind of. Well, not just because we did, but it's like if we can just get people to make the neighbors happy, then it won't be a problem, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with like walking down the sidewalk and walking up, taking your pictures, doing a truffle shuffle or two, and walking back down. It's not going to hurt anybody. But it's, again, when people are driving their cars up the driveway, it's not a paved road. So there's a lot of gravel, and gravel deteriorates and falls off, and then we got to replace it and stuff. And the neighbors have to split that. So, yeah, yep. I would say that's the biggest thing. And uh, asking Goonies to come together from around the world to contribute to good causes, like we talked about Goonie Service Day, helping out the homeless, helping out the needy, anybody that needs help in Astoria. That city, we can make it happen. It's with only 10,000 people in the population. It should not be hard for the world of Goonies to make that city the most magical city. With shouldn't be a single person hungry, a single person homeless, and there shouldn't be anybody that is struggling. If there's shrinks out there that want to donate their time to help with mental illness, that's a big part of this world. I lost a loved one recently to that. Anything we can do. The Goonie community is massive. It's so
Mm.
big. I didn't. Not every city in every state in America. It's worldwide. It doesn't matter if they're in Australia or Italy or the UK or China. There are Goonie fans in every country, and they all want to help. They all want to serve. So I just want everybody to come together and do something so special for the world. And we can start in Astoria. I mean, what happens when we make Astoria perfect, right? And we clean up, and there's no homeless people and things like that. Then we can go to other cities and just continue the
You
Goonies
can make
tradition.
the Goonies squad.
Yep. I just got the 10-minute meter. We've got dinner plans tonight, so the wife just goes 10 minutes.
Wrap it up. Um, so yeah, about how many visitors do you think the house gets per year? I mean, you've been there how long now?
Well, we've had about a month. I would say tomorrow actually technically would be a month because we closed on the 11th of January. Um, so the first day we were there was probably only like between, you know, 15 to 20 people that I saw. Now, I'm not staring at it 24/7, but maybe you saw a dozen, 15, 20 people. So. Then on the weekend, it got real busy. It was 7,500 people that we saw,
Oh
like
wow.
tons of people. During Goonies Day, Goonies Week, probably 1,000 a day, probably more, because I was there for that and I saw how many people were there. I mean, everybody goes there. So, um, yeah, I don't know what that equates to per year, and it's probably going to get to be a lot bigger because of us being welcoming.
Yeah.
Didn't want to make the drive because they were told they can't go, but they can go. So, I mean, I would say comfortably. I mean, you're for sure in the tens of thousands of people per year, but it could be more. It could be couple 100,000, 100,000, 200,000 people maybe per year. It just you'd have to have somebody with one of those little counters, going, every time like
Yeah,
three. So we get a volunteer and do that every day, and also kind of watch the Goondocks. We that would be awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. So
Is
yeah,
there a local theater out there?
yeah, there is actually. Yeah, it's funny. Astoria, and then they have a neighboring city called Warrenton, and then there's another one called Seaside. So those three, between the three of them, they pretty much have everything. But Astoria, Warrenton, there's a Home Depot, there's a Walmart. There's all the stores are there. The grocery stores, like it's all there. Mattress firms there. You need a mattress. Yeah,
I'm just envisioning like June 7th, Goonies Service Day, visiting the house as part of it, but then seeing the movie at the local theater as the like sort of the culmination of the event.
yeah. Well, somebody, just so you know, somebody organized that in Astoria. Not this weekend. I think it's next. And they're playing Goonies. It's I don't know where they posted it, but the whole theater is going to be the Goonies. When we went there for the 30th, we went to Warren Field, and that's where remember where Andy was cheerleading and stuff like that at the beginning of the movie. It was the last time Goonies were able to really be together at Warren Field because they turned it into like a parking lot. No longer there anymore. But
Oh
when we were
wow.
there for the 30th, it still had the bleachers and they put a big projector, big screen at Warren Field, and the entire group, it must have been 1,000 people. We all watched Goonies. And the coolest part about it was that because everybody there was such huge fans, almost everybody knew the lyrics front and back, start to finish. Every was being person behind you, in front of you, to the left of you, to the right of you. Like everybody knew the lines, right? So everybody's like saying them. It's just so. And Jeff Cohen was there, so
Oh
Chunk was
wow.
there with us. Yeah, so that was, and he was so
Hey
cool.
you guys.
So good. Yes, the
That's
40th
awesome.
anniversary. I've already been talking to the Oregon Film Museum and the Chamber. They're going to be the ones that kind of lead the way with that. We're the newcomers to Astoria, so we're not going to be the ones, quote unquote, organizing it. We're just going to play ball and do what we can to contribute and run with what the city wants to do and help out. But my understanding, even though the actors probably are not going to announce it, probably because they don't want everybody to, mob them or whatever. But I'll bet you the majority of the actors will show up. That's my guess. I'm not saying that, but I'm pretty certain that most of the actors are going to show up to pay tribute on the 40th.
That would
Rocky,
that would be unbelievable.
so
Cool.
good.
Cool. I'm going to wrap this up here because I know you got to get to dinner. I'm Ty
Yeah,
Freligh. I'm a Gen X creator. I post a ton of content about growing up in the 70s and 80s. You can give me a follow here. check out my content, you can give Behman a follow. He's the new owner of the Goonies House. We've just been chatting about the movie in Astoria, and so yeah, give him a follow, give me a follow, and swing back around and check out the recording of the live. He answered a bunch of questions, and so yeah. Anything you want to add as a closing comment?
Want to thank the whole community. 99% of the feedback we're getting is positive, and as people, they say time always tells, and we just want to do the right thing, the best we can do. We're not perfect, so we're going to do the best we can do for the people that are supporting us and love what we're doing. Thank you. We love you guys. God bless you guys. For the ones that, for whatever reason, don't know us and don't like us, I hope to meet you someday and maybe change your mind because I think you'd really do. We're a fun group of people. Get to know.
Awesome. And I appreciate everybody for sending the gifts. That's amazing, and the likes on the live. Um, and I appreciate you, Bayman, for joining us and spending all this time.
What's up?
Sorry, couldn't hear you.
One of the comments is from Tizrock.
Yeah,
He's
Forrest,
a
he's awesome.
that's amazing. That's awesome.
He's
When
gonna
you
come
coming
see
out
you.
to when you coming out to the Goondocks, big dog? That's all I want to know. When are we gonna do one of them TikTok lives from inside? Uh, you get to be Brand. We're gonna tie you up. I'm gonna jump on you
Oh, he's gonna
because it's
like that.
time for putting this together. This will be the first of many. And you guys know how to get a hold of me. I'm not hard to find. I do respond as I can to messages and things like that. So anything that comes up, you guys holler. Um, go Chiefs Sunday. Let's have those Chiefs win.
Sounds good. All right, thanks, guys.
Guys, peace to
See
the
you.
world.
Peace
Bye.
out.